Isn't it weird to think that this is the first wireless Xbox controller that Razer has ever released? Well, let's see how they did on their first attempt. So first, let's take a look at what you get in your box. Of course, you're going to get your manual and stickers, which I'm going to show you a little bit more here in a second. But you get this really nice carrying case. It's kind of like cloth covering right there, but as you can see, it is hard. Unzips right here. And then, bam, you are going to be presented with your controller, which we're going to dive pretty deep into. Right down here, you have your dongle, wireless controller. You have two interchangeable thumbsticks, which again, we're going to take a deeper dive at the controller. And it's really nice that everything sits in here really firm, like it's not going to budge or fall out on you. And then, of course, you get your very long, heavy-duty braided cable. But I do want to show you this manual real quick because it's going to break down a couple things within the controller here that I think are really cool. So number one, it breaks down again what it all is, your brightness of battery life. But this is what I really like here. As you can see, hopefully you can catch that in the camera, is everything can be adjusted right on the controller. I'm not even talking customization of like thumbsticks and such, but as far as your brightness and then again, the back buttons and everything, it all can be adjusted right onto controller. I absolutely love that. Again, which we do have apps on this, but the simplicity to adjust everything right on it is fantastic. So let's go and dive into the controller. And I think most importantly with any controller is the ergonomics. How does it feel in the hand? And of course, this will differ person to person. I got medium to large hands, but as an Xbox primary player, I love the standard Xbox controller. I'll compare it up to this as well, but I love the ergonomics of the Xbox controller. So we'll talk about that, but I want to kick it off with the weight. And sorry you can't see, I need to get a scale that doesn't light up here. But anyways, we're getting right at 300 grams on the Razer controller. Now over here with the Elite controller, I do only have 2 paddles on the back. I don't use 4. Putting this down here, we're getting 338. But with the Razer one being a little bit lighter, like yes, you do feel that weight difference slightly, but it doesn't feel cheap or chintzy by any means. It's got a really nice balanced weight to it. All right, so I want to try something in this video here that I usually do with my mice videos. You all see me do the heat signature as far as whenever I grip a mouse and again, where those heat signatures going to be present. So I want to try the same thing with the controller, a little bit different here. So anyways, I'm just going to grip the controller here as my gameplay style, how I would actually be using it. And then I'm going to take my hand off so you can see where the actual heat points are going to be. Hopefully this works with the controller as well. It's a really great test for gaming mice. But as far as controllers, I can take it off. You can see I'm getting those heat signatures right around the back there, really prominent on that side, coming around to the front. And that's pretty much where it stops. And you can see you got that little gap right there. And it's coming down onto the bottom, right around to the side, rolling, oh, we're freezing a little bit, rolling slightly up to the buttons. Now I also want to do this with the Xbox, the Elite controller, but still the same shape as a standard Xbox controller, just so we can get that true shape comparison. And I will tell you, I can feel my fingers rolling up the side a whole lot more smoother, more, I don't know, ergonomic compared to the Razer one. And then when I take my hand off here, we might be able to see it. You can see we're getting a whole lot more of that really pure coverage over here on this side. Coming around to the bottom, we do got a little bit of a point at the back end, but like I stated, it's rolling right up to the top. As you can see there, really good coverage going all the way along. And when you look at these controllers next to each other, what we just looked about and what I mentioned really comes into play. As you can see, the Xbox One is a little bit more streamlined from the bottom all the way to the top, just kind of has that nice angle going around. The Razer one is a little bit more plump. The arms are a little bit shorter and bolder down at the bottom, and you do kind of feel that when, again, the Xbox One feels a little bit more rounded. I don't want you to take it as, oh, this Razer one's not comfortable by any means. I mean, it is incredibly comfortable. Every time I used it, I wanted to continue using it. But again, coming from a big Xbox controller fan, heck, I collect Xbox controllers for some odd reason, but also coming to the standard Xbox controller, maybe I'm just so used to it that that's what I'm used to and feels comfortable for me. But again, it just flows from the top, again, to the sides and everything into my hands. It fits perfect. Coming to the Razer one, as comfortable as it is, I feel my hand kind of dropping down a little bit on, a little bit more flat. And then again, with the shorter arms on the back. Hopefully that makes sense. But still, yeah, it is very comfortable in the hand. Now, where the Razer controller is really going to stand out is as far as the feel and actually using it, especially coming from like an Elite controller or a standard controller, which I'm going to give you the sound test of these buttons. And what you were looking at there in silence was my ambient room sound level. I got my microphone up there, which is why I'm probably sounding a little bit echoey right now. But anyways, they got these mech tactile buttons, which Razer is saying tactile, but you still get that membrane feel down here on the bottom, like mouse clicks, and same up with the bump stops, which we'll talk about all of them right here. But I want to give you a quick sound test and hear the difference. I mean, wow, it is just a night and day difference. Like, this feels so good. It's that perfect balance from tactile to, again, that membrane, like Razer is stating. The back buttons is just snappy to the point. When you put your trigger stops up there, right, get into an actual mouse click, like, oh my gosh, it feels amazing and snappy as they are actually using mouse switches on the back triggers here. When you come over here to the Elite controller, which I use the heck out of, it just, I mean, I love the Elite controller. I love the Xbox controllers, but after using this, I hate saying it, it feels cheap. So sticking on ergonomics here, there's actually two other things I want to mention, one mild and one that is a little bit bigger in my opinion. So let's start with the bigger one, being the paddles on the back here. I don't know if we can call them paddles. They're kind of more or less buttons. Again, you can't customize them. They stay right there. And whenever you grip the controller, at least me, my fingers, again, go right into the groove right there, right? So me personally, when I press down, I press down. I almost had to find myself getting used to kind of pressing them forward here to get that nice actual press rather than straight up pressing down. Again, that could be just me, but I just wish the paddles were, I don't know, interchangeable, number one, so I can put a bigger hump on, say, the back one or something, but your hand does grip around them really nice. They're not in the way. It's just I had to get myself used to pressing them back rather than down like on the Elite controller. Now, the other thing that, again, is nitpicky here is as far as gripping it on the back bit, this is rubber textured here. Really nice, feels really good. But when you come up to the top over here, it is all plastic. I wish they took that rubber texture and took it all the way up around the entire controller. That would have just felt really nice and premium and gave you that extra grip up top. Maybe that's just a personal preference. But I do wish there was some sort of customization for these back buttons here. Now, as far as customization of the Razer controller, as I showed you in the case, you get two customizable thumbsticks, that short domed one, and then that tall concaved one. And as far as changing them out on the controller, not my favorite. But anyways, you just pull them up. You see you got the little ball mechanism there, which is going to lock them into play. As far as putting them back in, you got this, which I'm not sure the camera can even show. You got this little arrow on the front, and that's got to match the arrow right here on the thumbstick. Take it and you press it down, and you better hope that thing doesn't move around on you whenever you move it around, which I did not get right there. There we go. Again, it's just a pain. It's not easy to use. You can't change out the D-pad, and you can't change out your paddles on the back, which is a real stinker. Talking about the Xbox One, they do it so good. It's magnetized, number one, so you just plop it down. It's good to go. Same with your D-pad, magnetized, plop it down. And of course, you can change your paddles. Use 2 if you want, or use 4, or change the length. The customization of the Xbox One is unmatched, I really think. The Razer one, again, there's very minimal customization about it, and I feel like that's a very big misstep here. but that could also be Microsoft kind of gatekeeping some of the adjustability and features of their Elite controller. Now, one area, in my opinion, where Razer is going to take the win as far as customization is within the software. It's just simple and very easy to use. Now, right now you're looking at it on PC. I'll show you on the Xbox as well, which you can do everything we're looking at right here on the Xbox. The app's pretty similar, actually. So let's go in here to my test profile here, which you can click Edit, and then you can assign your buttons, again, to whatever you want. But the cool thing is you can do all this right on a controller. You just hold it down and then your program button and then set the button you want, which is what I usually do. Absolutely love that. Come down here to thumbstick settings. You got circularity mode, which this is above my controller knowledge, these kind of things. Sensitivity clutch. You got your dead zone over here, which you can actually adjust on the controller. I leave mine all pretty much standard, but you can dive in here and adjust all of that stuff. Prevent double dead zones. Again, you just got so much customization. Coming over here to haptic strength, you got 0 if you want it off, all the way up to 6, which you probably just heard vibrate on my desk over here. Right in the middle is pretty much perfect. I like it. It's not too much, not too little. Coming over here to lighting, not too much going on here just yet. You got spectrum, which is going to cycle, and you got static, which is I keep mine static at red at 25%. Nothing overboard, nothing crazy. Save some battery life. Kind of wish they had a few other effects, but it's really only that logo on the controller anyway, so whatever. Over here is whenever you want it turned off whenever you're not using. So again, it's not like cluttered with a whole bunch of excess stuff. It's very easy, straightforward, and simple to use. Now let me show you the app on the Xbox, which is Razer Controller Setup. Same that you've used before if you ever used a Razer controller on your Xbox. And what you're going to see here is it's pretty much the exact same as we saw on PC. As we're loading up, you can change the name of your controller, which I'm not sure I showed you on PC. Come down here where it says test. That's just what I named my profile as. I'm editing as. You can come down here and rename it if you want. Anyways, let's get in here and to edit it. And you're going to see all the same stuff as we saw on PC as far as customizing your buttons right over there. I really don't use these two top buttons, M1 and M2. Let me know if you do down in the comments. That's a whole lot of buttons right there as far as the back ones and those tops. Thumbstick settings. All the same settings you were seeing on the PC. As you can see, adjusting your dead zone and all that stuff. Everything can be adjusted the exact same. Haptic feedback. Let me see if you guys can hear this or see this in the camera. So 3, that's pretty much where I leave it. 6 gets a little bit rambunctious. 4 is not too bad, but I found 3 was just that nice manageable feedback there. I really liked it. And coming down here to the lighting, again, the exact same. Your brightness right there, your 2 effects, spectrum and static, and then your power saving mode. And that's where I think Razer really hit it out of the park with this controller, is as far as that customization, as far as the settings and everything within the app, whether that's on console or PC. I love how they do it with their headsets as well. With that console app, it's very simple and straight to the point to use and seamless. Again, going from one device to the other, PC to Xbox or vice versa, saving it on it. I absolutely love that. Now let's go and talk about the performance of this controller. And it's packing quite a lot, as you've seen so far. And many of you know I usually cover a lot of mice and keyboards, PC peripherals, but believe it or not, I use a controller a lot, whether it be PlayStation, Xbox, or heck, even on PC. I play a lot of story games and not many FPS games. But when it comes to FPS games, I cannot use a controller. I am absolutely horrible. So if you want that kind of input, this is the wrong place. But I do play, again, a lot of story games, and I use this controller quite a bit, playing a lot of Diablo lately, actually. So I'm mashing these buttons quite frequently, and it feels fantastic. The wireless mode on it is just seamless and just butter smooth. No hiccups, no delays, no nothing. That goes on Xbox or on a PC. Again, it was just butter, no delays or anything. Now, whenever you use it wired, you can get it up to 1,000 hertz, which is kind of crazy to brag on, as we're talking about mice with 8,000 polling and wireless now. Yet a controller's at 1,000 wired? Like, that's kind of a weird flex or something to really brag on. Again, my controller depth is not that deep, but it just seems weird as mice are up to 8,000 and this wired 1,000. Yay! But at the core performance of this controller, with myself swapping from multiple Xboxes to PC, it was absolutely perfect and butter smooth. And I can't stress it enough. The feel of the buttons, like these little tactile mouse clicks on the back there, and then that membrane tactile feel on the buttons up there, just feels very nice. Again, with me mashing them quite a bit in Diablo, it feels really, really solid. The only thing I probably don't like is that D-pad just feels weird. It's very tactile, which maybe that's what's weird for me. Maybe mushy / tactile. I don't know. It's just, again, a weird D-pad, but the buttons all the way around this controller feel really, really nice. And if you're one into those bump stops, getting that mouse click right up there at the top is just, wow. Just feels amazing. All right, so the new Razer Wolverine V3 Pro wireless controller for Xbox and PC. I gotta tell you straight up, my honest opinions for this controller, I really, really like it. I want to continue to use it, and I catch myself continuously using it. I really like just the feel in the hand. Even though it's not as ergonomically sound as, say, the traditional Xbox controller, I still find myself wanting to use it. It just feels premium as far as every click and everything. With myself being, again, a mouse user and keyboard user, that's the level you're getting here. You're getting a more tactile, again, premium feedback type of feel, and I really, really like that. Now, unfortunately, one of the downfalls here is going to be the price. This controller is going to come in at $200, okay? So that's expensive. But when we talk about pro controllers or elite controllers, they're all pretty expensive. We're looking at the PDP Victrix or whatever it's called, 180. The elite controller you can actually get for 190 now. A SCUF controller is roughly around $200. So you're seeing it's right around that price range. And do I think it justifies? I think the internals and, again, the specs and everything it's packing justifies. I personally wish there was a little bit more customization on it. I wish you can change out that D-pad. I wish there was something to swap out with those back buttons. If I want a bigger one or a smaller one or whatever, I can take two of them out. I wish there was more customization on it. That's my one complaint right there. But as is, yeah, I really like it. And if that $200 price point is a bit steep, well, they're going to be coming out with a tournament edition, which is going to be a wired version featuring everything this is packing, minus the RGB and, of course, minus wireless. And that's only going to be $100. That I can really get behind. But as I always state, I don't make videos for me. I make videos for you all. So I want to hear your feedback on this controller. Do you think it's justifiable at the $200, or will you be waiting out for that $100 version right there? Hope I can get my hands on that one and try that one out as well, and I'll let you guys know. But all in all, I do like this controller. That's my feedback right there. I want to hear from you guys as well. And thank you so much for stopping by for this video. If it was helpful and you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye now.